All right, so my name is Jenny Jenkins, and I am doing the presentation on collaboration and networks within the nonprofit sector. So a collaboration is partnering relationships and used mainly, the general term is encompassing the full array of alliance configuration. Collaborations and networks are really important for nonprofit organizations and any organization as a whole, but specifically in the nonprofit sector because it's the backbone of the organization. When you make those connections and you're face-to-face with those people, it becomes really important who you are putting your organization in front of and what collaborations you are making, what partnerships you are focusing on. So one of the main topics of this presentation that I am going to focus on is just the strategic alliances and why a strategic alliance is important to the collaboration aspect of the nonprofit sector. So you can see that a strategic alliance is the capacity building mechanisms. Capacity building mechanisms as in who you're partnering with and the relationships that you're forming within the sector. So network strategies, we'll kind of go through these. The first point is common agenda. And so a common agenda presents that collective impact. And with a collective impact, that requires all participants to have a shared vision for change, one that includes a common understanding of the problem and a joint approach to solving it through agreed upon actions. It's important to have a common agenda in place in anything that you're doing, just in the fact that you don't want to partner with someone who in the future has 10 years down the road expects something else than what you're expecting. So taking that common agenda and putting that at your number one priority as a strategy of when looking for partners is really important. The next point is shared measurement system. When sharing measurement system, this entails looking at organizations across the board and finding patterns that seem relevant to their line of work. This is important. It's the same with common agenda, is that you want to make sure that anyone you're partnering with, anyone that you're deciding to create that network with and just start a collaboration with, it's important to make sure that they're having that same shared measurement system that you are. The third is mutually reinforcing activities. By encouraging stakeholders within this point is really important. You want to take a hold of your stakeholders and really get them involved. And some stakeholders will not want to get involved. But by mutually reinforcing activities, it's encouraging stakeholders to participate and perform a particular set of activities that support the actions of other stakeholders. And this will allow unity to form within the organization and create that collectivism that an organization needs. So to get those activities rolling and to get that aligned is super important. That fourth point is continuous communication. This is a point that most people know, and in any business, communication is important. In any friendship and any relationship, communication is vital. So having that continuous communication in a network is a great strategy when you're partnering and doing that as strategic alliance. Communication can act as also a big challenge if the loss of trust occurs. But if energy is focused on creating a common vision between the two different entities, then a successful collaboration can be implemented and clarity-filled communication can be developed. So, like I said earlier, continuous communication is important for anyone, whether that's a relationship or a business, but it's really important when you are creating that strategy to collaborate with new networks. And the last point is backbone support organizations. The backbone support has the ability to create urgency and gather people's attentions through adaptive leadership. Like I said, collaborations and networks is the backbone of an organization. And so to get face-to-face with these people and get them to support you is something that's big. And before we move on, strategic alliances. There's many types of strategic alliances, and there's a definition in our book that says it perfectly. It says strategic alliances, of which there are many types, are understood to be capacity building mechanisms that enable partnering entities to achieve results exceeding those that might be attained on the basis of each participant's individual resources and efforts. So by using these strategies to get these strategic alliances aligned is important, because these people are going to have those resources and those networks, and they're going to put that effort towards helping your cause. The challenges that people face. The first point is really important, an incompatible mission, vision, and values. And this goes back to the first part of just having a common agenda. So most people going into it will think that they have the same mission, vision, and values, and then find that it actually the operations that they have in place are not aligned at all. So making sure that these are aligned and that these are the same as your partners is really important. Egos can also get in the way. Just individual leaders and their pride towards something and towards a situation can get in the way. So egos really need to be toned down, but also, that sounds silly, but people, when you're partnering with people, you need to realize that they're not trying to hurt you in any way, but they're trying to help you. So people might want to, I guess, really take ownership of their organization, but by sharing that ownership with a possible partner can help your organization grow. So taking and toning down that ego will help. Turf issues are the same as kind of egos. Organizational turf issues is really when an agency perceives itself to be in a specific size or domain or specific scope, and that they don't really look at their partners as equals, but they look at them as less because they don't follow a specific credential that they might have in place. So turf issues is another thing that if it's not toned down, like the second point, this could be a challenge when trying to collaborate. Costs, there's two different costs, the time required and the funds required. Time required is simple. Just when you're forming an alliance, how much time is that going to take, and are they willing to partner with that, whether that's the time that they're committing to the organization or the time that it takes for the partnership to develop. So that's something that needs to be settled and in place. The funds required, the expenses, just the opportunity cost as well, is a lot of energy and attention sometimes, a lot of just not just time, as we talked about earlier, putting your time into the organization, but it might cost as well, and just the legal issues and the payroll and the human resources and the new taxes or the signage, the printing, the promotion, all of that, the production costs basically, and the underlying costs that make the organization go. A partner might have some issues with that, so those are some challenges that come along. And the cultural differences. Whether you're working with an international organization or you're working within the United States, there are cultural differences that happen in any workplace, so these need to be approached when creating that partnership. The factors of alliance success, these are something that kind of are just the opposite of your challenges, but if you have that shared vision, a lot of success is going to come. Just because the shared vision is the top, I would say, priority of any collaboration that is going to take place. You want to make sure that when you look 10 years down the road, that you are having that same mission and vision as your partner. To have a sound process and also open communication is important. The sound process is the process through which the alliance is developed, and the operations have a significant impact on the likelihood of success. So you want to make sure that you're continuing to learn, and that the success of the collaborations are kind of laid out. And so what I mean is just that it is a sound process is that it's just it's smooth. That would be the right word, is that it's smooth and that you kind of have a plan laid out. And that's with open communication. You want to make sure that you're honest and you're consistent, and so that the trust is there, which goes in the next atmosphere of trust. When you don't have open communication, there's a lot of walls there. Trust can be lost, and you want to make sure that trust stays there so that the organizations can be honest with each other. Effective leadership needs to be in any organization and any nonprofit. You want to have those leaders in place, those individuals that are really going to share that vision with everyone, and that are just going to represent all of these: the atmosphere of trust, open communication, and the sound process. You want to make sure that leader represents that, and that they are stay mission focused, and rather than get their ego in the way. And that's really important with the challenges we talked about before. That ego needs to stay low. So when they're leading, they need to be mission focused in their leadership, rather than ego based in their leadership. And also hard work. Nonprofit work, business work, anything takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. And so when you're making these alliances, there needs to be a lot of hard work that comes into play. And if the potential partners that you're looking at don't want to put in the leadership, the time, and don't want to put in the hard work, then maybe that is not the alliance that needs to be made. And vice versa, if the partner's coming, but the nonprofit is not putting the work that the partnership deserves, then that alliance probably should not be made and probably will not have success in the future. And then I'm going to kind of just talk about me a little in this, and how collaborations and networks have affected my personal life. So Amani Tamani Opindo, and some of you might have heard me talk about it, but I founded Amani. Amani means faith, and our full corporation name means Faith, Hope, and Love in Swahili. We were founded in 2011, so we're pretty new. But our focus is based on partnerships a lot of the time, not just for funding, but who we help. So our international partners are Real for Christ and the Cries of a Child. We work in Kenya and Burundi, and we're also working on a project in South Sudan, so another potential partner. But we partner with these existing organizations, and we help them bring physical hands and feet onto the ground. So we plan mission trips and internships to go serve them. But we also take over their child sponsorships and fundraisers, and as well as we're starting a women empowerment program with our international partner in Kenya. So there's a lot of stuff that we work with, and so collaborations and networks are truly important to us. So our local partners, we have Advent GX, who really helps us with vision workshops and our events that we have in Bryan, Texas, as well as just the facilities we use here. Clear Visions helps us with printing. Creative Parks helps us with our web design and just our background of tech work. But we really focus here on creating those partners to have that consistent funding come in for those kids, for new schools to be built, for new orphanages to get solar paneling, and all of that cool stuff that happens over there. And so what we found is that with our international partners, they'll go over there, but they don't have advocates here. And so I really enjoyed reading about networking and collaboration and just management systems throughout this past 7 weeks, because it's really helped me reevaluate our program and if we're actually making the right steps to maximize our strategic alliances for the future. So if you have questions or anything, I just wanted to share that. But you can visit our website at amani-africa.org and kind of check out what else we're doing in our future plans. And so I wanted to put this quote in to kind of end it, but It was by Tolman in one of the articles for collaboration and networking, and it says, for some organizations, it is an internal force that drives them toward collaborative efforts, and for others, it is the external environment. In either instance, nonprofit managers believe that by working towards a common agenda, they will better serve their mission and create collective impact. This is especially true when financial and pragmatic factors within the organizations are in question. And I really just want to put that because every situation that we're placed in has some sort of effect on our organization. And like this says, whether it's an internal force and external environment, that's having some effect. And so collaborations and networking is truly important to organizations. And I like how they say backbone, because without these strategic alliances, it becomes hard. And just from personal experience with starting up a nonprofit, you can't do it all alone, even though you want to, and you want to have that ego trip and you want to have that pride, but you kind of have to set that aside, because if you want the organization to grow, you got to start spreading the word and start being a big advocate. And so I loved learning about this, and it was really, really exciting. So that is my presentation on collaboration networks. It had a little twist to it and was focused more on strategic alliances, but I found that that was the most important, one of the most important aspects within this chapter is how do you maximize those alliances, and how do you create those relationships that are going to last so that your organization can grow and succeed. So thank you, and I had a great little 7-week course, so thanks.